I really hope and wish and pray that if Prime Minister can really take, if there is a time for a master stroke, as Modi ji sometimes usually say, this is that time for the master stroke, where Modi ji can do some posture, find a new consensus, find a new balance. If there is a occasion for this is the right occasion. And I would never say, we shouldn't abuse anybody's family, let alone our Prime Minister's family, or this is not an occasion for politicking. Yes, it has occurred political overturns, you can criticize, but unnecessarily blaming or bringing in family of the PM doesn't serve any cause, or bringing in other things doesn't serve any cause. And more importantly, as an admirer of PM and also of sympathetic to their cause, I hope more and more people from the sports fraternity, especially cricket and the other sports, do express solidarity towards them, because then it will really raise the awareness. I think we all know
Yeah.
at the end of the day it is about leverage. It is about more leverage you can pull in that can really cause change. That's the
Yeah.
reality of India, reality of the world.
Well, we are seeing some of the public figures in the sporting universe who have spoken: Sunil Chetri, Abhinav Bindra, we have Neeraj Chopra, and we've had most recently Anil Kumble. The cricketing universe in particular is their silence is conspicuous. I mean, it is deafening. All right, Mahima, you want to come in? Let me bring you in. I do want to ask you the same question. I know Ranjana answered it, but the Congress, as a party that has shown solidarity with the wrestlers, will also have to answer it. Has this become, has the politics dwarfed what the wrestlers are going through? That is what concerns me. Has the party politics dwarfed what the issue is for the wrestlers, who are not concerned with who wins and loses in 2024? That's not their fight.
Before I come to that, it is audacious how Mr. Ishwar, doesn't cease to call himself an admirer of Modi ji, yet expects solidarity from their own fraternity. You see, I'm reminded of the old Hindi song, Jinhe Naaz hai, Hind par wo kahan hai. Because neither the sports persons have come nor the admirers of Modi ji have, nor is there any decline in their admiration of Modi ji, though their sisters are fighting tooth and nail for justice on the roads of India. But I was, prompted to say two, three things, Barkha, and I must just say that. You see, BJP representatives are missing from your show as they are missing from the action also. You are asking about politicizing. Right in the beginning, you said that it is headed by a political person. So the political aspect is inevitable.
The
Let me just
BJP, the BJP has declined. The BJP has declined. We called a number of BJP spokespeople. I think they don't know what position to take. They haven't been mandated to take part in these
that
conversations. But do
speaks
go
for
ahead.
itself.
Yeah.
Because as somebody rightly pointed out, I think Ranjana ji rightly pointed out that they, or I think Mr. Ishwar also pointed out that they did not allow any political person to come to their protests in the beginning. That was a golden opportunity for the government. They were just meters away from the Prime Minister's residence. But a Prime Minister who did not, attend to his farmers sitting kilometers away from his residence for 1.5 years, and later comes and folds his hands and says, he was, of course, ashamed in his heart at least to say that we are reversing the laws, because we had been saying that all along. They called them Atankwadis, they called them separatists and whatnot. Today, Mr. Brij Bhushan Singh has badmouthed these girls. And I think it is high time that we leave our admirations and affinities and inclinations aside.
But you didn't answer my question. Can I briefly ask you to answer my question, and then I want Gargi to answer it? Are you comfortable with Mr. Tikait now being the mediator of this issue? Mahima?
As I aptly said earlier, that there was a golden opportunity for the Prime Minister and his representative, somebody from the Ministry of Sports or Youth or somewhere, to go and talk to these girls, let alone a minister or a leader. Not even a worker of the BJP party ever went and met these, champions whose sweat and blood doesn't belong to the roads. It belongs to the grounds. It belongs to the Olympics where they won medals for this country.
Okay, let me bring in Gargi.
And now you see the whole country become a dangal.
The whole country will become a dangal. Gargi? Can we unmute
Once
Gargi?
before the 2024, am I audible? Yes.
Yes.
Barkha, I think the Congress wants the whole country to become a dangal before 2024, because when they see that electorally it is difficult to contest Modi, so create riot, create ruckus, create all those things. But I don't think it will work. I have said in the beginning also, if Mr. Brij Bhushan is guilty, yes, he should be punished. And I am for the women. But the way things have taken a turn, there it seems there is something of a political thing. And even Dipender Hooda, doesn't he belong to a political party? Isn't there a clash between Dipender Hooda? Hasn't his name come? So it also has to be seen. Brijbhushan Sharma, I say he's an accused. Suppose he's an accused today, and even if he's guilty, but he should get a fair investigation. That's what I'm saying. And the investigation pace, yes, the police should pace up the investigation. It should not just go on and go on like many other cases. And Naresh Tikait coming in, yes, it again shows it is politicized. And when you are talking about the farmers' protest, the farm laws originally were proposed by the Congress. They did not want the APMC, and today we know in Maharashtra
Okay.
the farmers have destroyed tomatoes because of APMC, the prices they were
Well,
getting.
Barkha,
So it was, anyway, we are not
Let's have a separate program on the
yeah,
farm laws. Yeah,
criticizes,
let's
yeah, criticizes what
yeah,
they wanted
that's
to do propose.
we're going
Yeah,
somewhere
we
else
are
with this
going.
conversation. Yeah. So I
Barkha,
so
what
sorry.
is wrong? Barkha,
Yeah.
what is wrong
Yes.
in Naresh Tikait coming in? I mean, the family elder always, if as a family elder, if he is feeling responsible, why don't others come in? Why? Who has stopped any strong BJP leader to come in? Anybody who can resolve the issue can come in. I don't see why Naresh Tikait is the family elder for them. Naresh Tikait has extended his support. I mean, like they are farmers' children, and he has led the farmer movement. Can't you see a link between all this? So I don't see why. Who has stopped anybody else to come in between? Who has stopped Prime Minister from speaking? Who's saying that sports minister should not go on the spot? Give them a little bit of comfort level. Say that we are investigating or whatever. I mean, who has stopped police from acting? I mean,
We lost you there, Ranjana,
somebody
but
who's
I
coming
think oh,
forward
there
to
you're back.
stand by you
Yeah.
is the wrong person, or is playing politics. How is that true?
So, Sharda, let me give you the last word. Do you agree with Ranjana that actually there was an open opportunity for anybody from the BJP to play the role of the family elder, right? There could have been somebody from the BJP who reached out, like I said, the Prime Minister. It could have been, the Sports Minister. It could have been anybody else. So, why criticize or why raise questions around Naresh Tikait? Yet, I am a bit concerned that in all of this noise, what the wrestlers actually started to fight for will get lost. That is what concerns me. It concerns me as a woman that Brijbhushan Saran will get away, because this will become some sort of tutu meme between all the political parties. And in all that noise, Vinesh Phogat and Sakshi Malik and their tears and their heartbreak will be lost. So I want to give you the last word. But before you speak, look at these images. I mean, look at these medals. These are the medals that could go into the water. The crisis isn't over yet. Sharda Ugra, the last word to you.
I think athletes here have understood, at least these athletes and everyone watching them has understood that what they actually stand for in this country today. The fact that you had your medalists going and saying we're going to immerse our medals in the water. I think athletes everywhere have understood the message that has gone out to millions of families who want their daughters to go into sport is also being sent on a daily basis. So we mustn't forget that the consequences of what this is are beyond the politics and who's great and who's not great. And you're right, anyone could have come and supported them. Margdarsha Mandal, whoever could have stood up for and offered solace to them and said, listen, let's find a way in this. But the problem is that all the blame is being put upon on the victims of this abuse. The blame is not being put up. They are being treated like the criminals. They have FIRs lodged against them for rioting. The blame is not being put on the person who's accused of having committed a crime against these young people and against a man.
And as
So-
someone said, one of our Mojo members, Debashish Das, says at least someone has come to the rescue. At least someone has come to rescue the medals. Otherwise, they would be drowned in the Ganga by now. Now, before we close, I just want to remind everybody that there was one other time, a very, very famous global reference where you saw a sporting icon. Can we actually bring those pictures up? We're talking, of course, Sharda, you would know this, about Muhammad Ali, right? When Muhammad Ali threw his gold medal into the Ohio River to protest racism. So this has been used as an instrument of protest before. We hope it doesn't happen. Are you hopeful at all, Sharda, that Mr. Tikait could mediate some sort of resolution, or as Rahul believes that the Prime Minister might yet intervene? Are you hopeful?
Not exactly, because I've seen that sportsmen are basically cheap currency for politicians to play around with when they need to win votes, and politicians, the market, celebrity, everybody to hang around it. When it comes to justice, it's very tough for them to get it. I'm not.
Well, it would have been extremely tragic had this evening ended with those medals in the river.